Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a sneak peek for the year of 2026 Tarot Oracle reading. And Scorpio, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Scorpio, we still all have a little bit of Scorpio in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is that in? This is where the energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. I've already shuffled and washed the deck, just given it a quick cut, and we'll begin with the underlying energy for the reading. And for the underlying energy, we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is sitting on his throne, and he's out on a slab here in the middle of a bunch of rough water. This is representing emotion, and he is solid in his emotion. He is the most emotionally available king. He offers a cup of love. This quite often does mean romance, but it also can just be about what you love to do, what you love to be, that kind of energy. And this water and him sitting here calmly like this in the middle is just representing how he is able to really keep control of himself and his emotions. He's well respected, like a very stable person, likely to be like a family man, that kind of energy. Very lovable and loving. And he also, he's sitting with his right foot forward. So he's ready for action, but he doesn't take action out of anger or whatever, excitement. He waits until the time is right, and then he makes his move. So that's the energy we're in for for this reading. And then we have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands represents communication coming in. And the Page of Wands is a visionary, this is the pages you would begin working for the royalty between the ages of 7 to 14. So they represent a youthful spirit. And keeping in mind that both of these are archetypes, the characters in the tarot are all archetypes. So these could be women in their masculine energy. Having said that, in the old days they were male, and both would be male. And the Page of Wands brings in communication. They would do like small errands and deliver messages throughout the court. And then when they grew up, if they were really good at what they did and they could afford a horse, they could be awarded a knightship. And then they would, of course, be delivering messages far and wide and given way more responsibility. But this energy represents someone, he's got a feather in his cap. He's well educated, even though he comes from like probably a higher social status family. And he's admiring his wand. The wand represents wood. It's like the tree. And so it represents deep roots, and like he would be the offshoot of that kind of energy of being well brought up is the energy I'm picking up for this particular page. And he is delivering a message. And because it's with the King of Cups, you'll notice that the Page of Wands is admiring his wand. Sometimes he's very enthusiastic and passionate, but sometimes he does think with his little head. So the mysteries of the world are represented by these pyramids in the background. So he's a go-getter and someone who really enjoys doing new things and really enthusiastic and passionate. So maybe the King of Cups, because it's the King of Cups for the underlying energy, is sending the Page of Wands to deliver a message regarding maybe a proposal, maybe I want to take you out on a first date, sending flowers, that kind of energy, a gift, some sort of beginning, I feel, to like a relationship. And so this is representing January, and I'm building a clock around that. So here we have the Six of Cups. So this energy is talking about reconciliation. There's 6 cups here. And when you first look at the card, it appears that this is maybe 2 kids playing and there's someone watching over them. But when you look closer, you realize, hey, this is a gnome and this is an old lady. And on one, her face is, if you look at it in one way, it's a hag. And if you look at it in another, it's a youthful young woman. So this energy is kind of talking about illusions. And that would be because in these cups, this is the only card of all the cups that has flowers in all the cups like this. And there's white flowers and they represent innocence. But sometimes that can be a bit of an illusion because like this person that's watching over the kids is actually walking down the path away from them. So it's just kind of, this energy is saying in the past there may have been some sort of an illusion. And the energy is talking about reconciliation or reuniting. This card is coming up quite a bit because that could just be about gathering for the holiday season with your family, you know, that kind of energy. And this energy is talking about, you know, sometimes forgiveness is needed. And the energy is like forgiveness is a choice that you make and you forgive, but you don't necessarily reconcile. So this is someone maybe that there's been something that happened and they're sending a peace offering kind of energy. That, you know, it could be something like that, or it could be as simple as having been reunited with your family for the holidays. And then we have justice. Yeah, I was picking up that energy of it being more like this is someone you know, and it's not necessarily someone, because he didn't send the Knight, he sent the Page of Wands. So it's not necessarily someone that you've already had a relationship with. It just could be someone you know, and possibly from your childhood. And, you know, you haven't seen them for a while. Maybe you went to high school reunion or something like that and you met, and now he's, you know, like asking you out on a date or something like that. This can also, like, this is an energy of this could be someone that you knew from your childhood, and then you went home to visit maybe for Christmas and bumped into them, you know, that kind of energy. And they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, and maybe sparks flew a little bit. It could be something like that. There's definitely, with this energy, romance in the air. And then we have justice. So it could be some sort of energy where you didn't get along when you were younger or something happened. I don't know, because like this is justice is coming in, or maybe it's just justice that you meet this person because, you know, you just randomly bumped into each other at a reunion when, you know, that kind of energy. So the Justice card represents being between two extremes. The veil in the back here is talking about like the veil between the spiritual world and the physical world. So justice is when you become, you can become neutral to what maybe happened here and decide, you know, that you're able to forgive. And because justice is basically, forgiveness is for yourself, and justice is about the energy of this is, I just feel like it's not like so much of a court justice. It could be, but it feels more about something that happened between you. But like, I just feel like he wouldn't send the Page, he would send the Knight if he knew you. So we'll see. We'll see what this is about. I was picking up something else, but now it's gone. So we'll see. We have Strength coming in. So this card does sometimes represent the energy of childhood and fears that came up from your childhood and facing those fears. So this is about having the courage to face your fears. And she's reaching into the line because it represents her fears that she's probably had since her childhood. This is about the infinite potential. If she can reach into herself, deep into herself, and overcome those fears, then she can move forward. This could also be the King's fears. It's really weird. I'm picking up an energy of like elementary and high school bullying, that kind of energy. Like maybe you were a little bit odd or gawky or something, or, you know, and now the energy is coming in that this Scorpio is, you know, trying to apologize for that because you look good now. You've grown up. Something like that. It's, it could have been as simple as pulling your hair in elementary school, that kind of energy. And then we have regret. But there's regret here. And so the regret is there's 3 cups here and they're spilled. And so the wine is poured out of them. You're not going to be able to recover it. And then there's 2 cups behind. But this person is focused on the regret from having lost this. So perhaps there's some regret that he didn't act upon asking you out when you were in high school or something like that. Maybe the King of Cups was just a little bit, because this represents Scorpio energy. It's the energy of emotion and water, and Scorpio is known as being the sexual gladiator of the deck or of the horoscope signs. So this energy, I don't know, maybe you went on a date or something when you were younger and it didn't turn out very well by the looks of it. But in any case, or perhaps this person has, or you have had several disappointing relationships and you're kind of just not interested right now. And but this person in any case can turn around, pick up these 2 cups, walk down the path here to the bridge, go over these troubled waters, and there's a castle in the background here, and the castle is half dilapidated and half standing. So this is the energy, is the cup half empty or half full? So yeah, it's kind of interesting energy. It almost feels really childish though, You can come here if you want. Hold on a second, my cat. Well, she might have bounced the camera. You can sit on my lap. You be a good girl. Go to sleep. All right. And then we have, it's like a new journey. So it's kind of perhaps this king has had regret from whatever happened back then, or, and has had the courage to ask you out again. I don't know. It's funny energy. I don't feel like it was something that was real horrible or anything. And I don't feel like it was you had a relationship. But it's okay, well, we bumped into each other for a reason, and maybe you clicked, and it's that kind of energy anyway. So the Fool represents someone that's beginning a new journey. It's a new cycle. And this is January, February, March, April, May, June. So it might have taken them quite a while, to contact you. And there maybe have been something that they want to, because I'm getting this energy. Sometimes this can represent someone who's is coming in with an apology. And then we have the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords energy, this represents, the swords represent your intellect, your mental intelligence, and your mind, control over your mind. So, and this energy is showing the new moon here. As I'm doing this reading, we'll be coming up with a new moon in about a week. And it's quite an intense one. And it is in the Sagittarius energy, which is the next sign next to you. This could represent cusp energy, because that's right on the cusp of Sagittarius, and when the Sagittarius energy changes into, or the Scorpio moves into a Sagittarius energy. So it's something like that. I'm still whatever happened, it's kind of this or that energy. I can't really get a firm grip on it. One thing I have noticed though is that the Justice, the right foot here, is moving forward, and the same there. So it's an action that's happened, and the energy is not really knowing whether this is going to work or not. Someone's gone inward and they're trusting their intuition to have the result they want. The energy is kind of very back and forth is the energy I'm getting. And like there's the troubled waters in between again. But, you know, this ends up having like a lot of potential. And that's what I'm feeling, because this energy is the 10 of Cups. It's like ultimate fulfillment, ultimate happiness, you know, having everything you love, like the happy family, the happy household, your career, everything. Like this represents having everything you love, and having in particular a very happy love life and family life and romance in your life. So this could end up being like a really good thing, even though it's starting out on a little bit shaky ground here. I have noticed that, you know, this is, as I've been doing these readings from moving in from 2025 to 2026, that a lot of them have started off on shaky ground, and then as the year progresses, things improve. And so I feel like this energy is, you know, because this is June, July, August, kind of. So, you know, it could be that you got back, you know, you went on a date or whatever, and this is representing the relationship progressing, that kind of energy. I do feel it is about, there's a lot of cups here, and especially with this one now. So it's a good energy to have. There's okay, so there's an energy here. He's leaning on, like, it feels like this, like, energy is like of an action. And I feel like maybe because this is the Pentacles, that the king has been focused on money, like on financial, you know, matters, business, career orientated, like kind of in that energy, and has not maybe met someone like you since he, you know, way back when, and kind of regrets not asking you out back then, or the way it happened back then, and now has, you know, decided to send the message out that, you know, I wanted to date with you or whatever. And the energy was like, oh, don't know which way this is going to go. But it turns out really well. And they're kind of, I'm getting this energy is being in a place of looking at everything they've accomplished up to this point and thinking, but it feels empty because of they didn't have this cup of love in their life. And so this is about talking about taking a new approach here, and, you know, looking at this, and that's this regret again, like I should have done this sooner, I shouldn't have waited this long kind of energy, you know. And it could be like this is money, but it's also health, wealth, happiness. And I just feel like this was someone that was very driven by their career and just life, I think. And they are, you know, they wish they would have taken this step sooner because it's turned out so well. But that's kind of silly because it's regret, like, you know, well, it's not silly, but you know what I mean. So now they're in a hurry. Like, they're like, really, like, after seeing you again or whatever, they are in a hurry to bring some justice to the situation. So maybe they know something that they feel you need to know, that kind of energy. It could be like the Knight of Swords. When the Knight of Swords come in, can talk about really rushing in. This can be someone who's angry or someone who's, you know, concerned. And it also can be someone that's really thinking, you know, with their little head, that kind of energy, like really passionate. He's totally stressing his horse out. You know, he's running against the wind. His sword is raised. So there could be something that he feels that he wants to right a wrong or something. Perhaps it's hard to say what that would be, but I'm just getting still that it wasn't like a direct action between the two of you so much as a regret for not acting sooner and not having, you know, this reunion sooner. But that's life, right? So we'll see what this is about. This can represent like energy that you're just in yourself also. of that. It doesn't, it could be about something you love yourself and you regret not taking these steps sooner because you want, you don't really enjoy the career you're in, or something like that. It's talking about something to do though with putting a lot of kind of energy into one place and wishing you had put it in somewhere else. And then we have the High Priestess coming in. So the High Priestess is sitting on her throne, and she is sitting next to the Most High. She's very highly intuitive, and she follows the cycles of the moon to be able to bring the energy in, and to get knowledge and then bring that down to the earth. And so, and the energy is kind of similar to the Justice card here. It's about having some sort of new insight. And then this communication came rushing in, and, wanting to either take an action with it. And it's almost like not this energy coming in here. Like, these are the only swords here. The rest is basically, pretty romance orientated, but this is kind of an energy of this regret. I feel this regret is about something that wasn't known, and now they found out something, and they're coming in almost like the knight in shining armor, that kind of energy. And we'll see here by the end of the year in December, the swords are laid down. So this represents someone who's in a church, it looks like, and they're meditating, and they've gone inward, and they're at peace. Like, they've hung up the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds. They've hung their mind on the wall so they can empty their mind and meditate and pray. And they've put this sword down, so they're not thinking. They want peace of mind about what happened in the past. And so that energy, on this window, the stained glass window, there's the word Pax, which is standing for peace. And that peace is like, they have peace of mind over this now. So it could be that maybe perhaps if someone asked you out, you turned them down because of some action in the past, and it was something that they weren't even aware of, or, some misunderstanding, because that's still coming up. I want to look into this a little bit more. It's kind of a weird reading. It's like, okay, what's this about? Kind of energy. We're trying to move forward in the new year with some clarity here. Let's have some clarity, and that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards, Tales from the Vector, T. And so the cards, it's an oracle that I started back in 2007, and I completed 64 paintings by 2020. And I'm now working on bringing the deck out. It's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I do have a website with a gallery of the paintings on there. And so I have the numbers of the paintings on these cards that I'm using, and I will put them in the description box below in the order they come up. I'm just tuning into this energy here. If you're enjoying this reading, or feeling like kind of irritated by it like I am right now, drop a like anyway and comment. I'm not irritated with the reading. I'm irritated with the energy. Like, it's irritating. It's what's coming up. And I really appreciate it if you do that. I want some clarity on this. What's going on here, Scorpio? Because this is I don't want to start off the new year in this energy, and I'm sure you don't either. I'm not a Scorpio sun sign, but hey. There we have it. Okay, this is the card that wants to come out to clarify. So Oh, my website is talesfromthevector.com. It's TAILS if you want to take a look. Okay, so this is about perception. And it's really strange too, because my cat usually insists on sitting on my lap, and she'll sit here and purr. And she just got up and walked away, and like, I don't feel like doing this reading either. So this energy is talking about perception. And a cat's purr has that healing energy. It raises your vibration. So the major accomplice here is the grass, thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and then finding out it was greener on the other side because it's fake. And this energy is just saying like something happened, like they were going to ask you out. Maybe they didn't show up for a date. I'm getting that kind of energy. They decided to go out with someone else instead, led you on a bit, because the Page of Wands can be a real player. They're very charismatic and, you know, very passionate and fun to be around. So I'm just picking up that kind of energy. And the this and that. Yeah, it's someone who, in their immaturity, didn't treat you the way you should treat someone when you're asking them out on a date. That's what I'm getting. That's why you didn't have a relationship with them. Now I'm picking up the energy. So, because the card that's coming up here is death to that. So the transition. Yeah. And so this King of Cups, maybe you could have been like visiting, you know, your hometown or whatever, and bumped into each other, and he was like, oh my God, why did I do that? And wants to apologize, kind of energy. I'm not getting, it was more like, it wasn't, I don't get that it was a relationship. But in any case, it's kind of funny that this card came up. And on a broader note, I'm happy to see that card too, because the energy of 2025 is 9 years. So it's 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. And that is representing end of a cycle. And then when we move into 2026, it's 10 year. So it's 1 + 0 boils down to 1. And that energy is talking about everything new, brand new, like moving forward. So when this past energy comes up, this reconciliation, a lot of times, like if someone treated you bad in a relationship, and that's not just lovers, someone that you love, like family members, partners in business, that kind of energy. Okay, now it's coming to me. Better, thank you. Better late than never. That's the energy here, better late than never. Okay, so the energy is like very clear with this transition from 2025 to 2026, because it's not just a new year, it's a new cycle. And that's what this is representing. Everybody's grown up. This is like the end of a 9-year cycle as we move into a brand new cycle. And it's almost like we're all starting our journey again, like we're kind of new people. That's the energy. Okay, I got it now. The reading should go more, we'll have more clarity here is what I'm getting. So there's an ego involved, and it's kind of talking about keeping your ego in check. And that's that energy, right? So whatever happened, I just get like if you went on a date with them or they asked you out, the way they did it was so egotistic or something that you were like, hell no. Because this is about initiation, and it's like this, the saying on the ego card is bats coming out of the toilet. So this energy is about, you know, yeah, you were not interested at that time in the way that the offer was made. And then it says, yeah, like the intention could have been good, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And this is like a bat out of hell. So you were like, no, that's not an energy I want to be in. And so it might be that you've ended a relationship and this is how you're feeling now. And you bumped into this person, you've asked them out. It might not even have been something they did. It might just be that you're not in the mood for romance. That could be the energy also. And So we'll just keep going here. It's becoming more clear. Yeah, the battle star comes up, and that's right sitting on the courage, on the strength. So of facing, your childhood fears and moving, like being able to move forward and move past this energy. I feel this energy here, now that this has come out, is much deeper for you, that you're healing from something. But I'm getting it's not necessarily directly from this person. It's more about when you were growing up, maybe you were bullied in school, or you were, some sort of energy. You had 3 really bad relationships, and they could have been like really bad, like something that you really had to recover from. And so the battle star is like having the courage to face that energy. I feel like it happened earlier in your life though, and not necessarily with this person. Maybe this person just was someone, how when when children are being bullied at school, like some will participate along with that, and some will just sort of sit back and watch it, and not do anything. And it's that kind of energy. Yeah, and this here is also talking about, the temptation energy. And so, I don't know, it feels like when this card comes in, it could have been something that was pretty bad, and this person just stood by and allowed it to happen. And they regret it now. But yeah, that's the energy that's coming in. So it could have been something that was pretty not good, like when the devil comes up. And so, we'll just, whatever that energy is, you have the courage, you're facing your fears, and you have the courage to dig deep. And this energy is like, okay, I'm ready to face what happened here. And I like to cover the devil because this is temptation, and the devil doesn't tempt you with, oh, I'm going to do, like I'm going to give you something really rotten and smelly and, sell your soul. It's more like something really beautiful and whatever. So you might have been stood up for like like, isn't that weird energy? But I'm getting, you might have been stood up for your graduation or something like brutal like that, That's what I feel like. It was something like that, like kind of immature and childish, but in another way, like really cruel, unnecessarily cruel. And yeah, and then there's the trauma queen here. So you're kind of in this energy, that causes people, if you have, trauma from something, that you don't want the drama, like especially if you've had to battle back from it. It's that kind of energy. Whatever it was, it changed you in a way that was like you weren't your innocent self anymore. That's the energy I'm picking up. And then we have like a toddler learning to give and take again. And that's this energy that a lot of us are in. It's kind of like 2025 was kind of an eye-opening year in many ways. There's so many things coming out all around the world, and so much conflict and friction. And it's kind of like, I feel like what's happened is when we moved into the age of Aquarius in 2020, it was from Pisces, and like we had been in Pisces for like that, I think it's like 1700 years or something like that. And so it's a real big shift, and it takes a long time to move into like that new age. And so in the age of Aquarius, it's very much experimentation, like technical, observation, experiment, and then, what was your result? Do it again. It's more scientific, less emotional, that kind of energy, a lot of thinking. And I feel like we're all kind of like toddlers in that energy right now. And we're really feeling it now with the AI coming out. And it's just like in the last 6 months, I've noticed like, wow, it's just really presented itself. And there's a lot of people having to adjust to a lot of changes. So that energy is coming up like that. But it's almost like I'm being granted a new cycle. and allowing yourself to be a different person. And then we have judgment here. So this is the heart chakra. So on some level, I just feel whatever happened closed, like it might not have seemed that big of a deal at the time to everybody else, but it shut your heart down. Like it was something that scarred your innocence kind of energy. And so this judgment coming in is about the justice for this. And the energy is, you know, that you took the time to heal yourself, and you're very careful now of who you participate with. And then we have, there's a lot of cards coming up, clearing a lot of karma here. So like we've got the ego, the intent, and we have the indifference. So yeah, you know that energy of, oh, when someone's being bullied like that, you just stand back and you watch it happen, but you don't step in and stop it. That, and we're all in it together, and we're a work in progress. But until we all start standing up for each other in situations like that, we're going to have like this energy around the world. And I feel like it's on some level, Scorpio energy is about uniting people. When it's at its best, it's about uniting people, elevating the human consciousness, setting the bar for humanity to be higher. And I feel like that's talking about this energy, and just using this as an example, kind of, you know, what seems really small, what happens in someone's childhood when they're going to school and high school, etc., can scar them, you know, quite deeply. And to be more, we as humanity moving into this year need to be more resilient with that energy, and also let go of this indifference. Like it doesn't matter what happens to other people. It does matter. And then, yeah, lack of awareness around that. So that's the energy. So this is, you know, when you lack awareness of how things really are, then you miss out on opportunities at the very least. And then we have, look at the Scorpio energy right on here. Yeah, unite, elevate versus conquer. And this energy, you know, of Mars, like just really like aggressive, right? That's the energy. In this position, this is October-ish energy. So I feel like this is kind of a reading that's saying more about the energy, how the energy has to change from 2025 to 2026 for us to be successful, is to be more aware of, you know, the karma that this creates when we're in this energy where we're being egotistical, and we have, you know, we're not clear on our intentions, and, you know, indifferent to other people's suffering, and not aware of what's really happened. That's the energy. And look at jealousy too. So this energy could have been, you know, there was something, there was like, maybe this was like you'd ask someone out on a date or something, or someone asked you out, and then someone prettier came along, or someone, you know, more popular, and you went to the prom with them and left this person sitting at home, you know, kind of energy, because you didn't have the guts to say, hey, I'm going out, I've changed my mind. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. Anyway, it's still an irritating reading, and my cat is agreeing. So this is disruption. So what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. And so this energy is like just putting this to rest. And so it doesn't feel like it really goes anywhere. That's what's so annoying. But having said that, it's about the courage of being able to face this energy and move into a stronger way of being. It's not like this is not the most fun reading. Like it's you know, what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. I guess that's the message we're getting here. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, please like and comment. And I will have another reading for you at the end of the month. Bye for now.